Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. So today is Wednesday. This has been 2 down days that the bears have been able to put some pressure on. Overall, it looks like there's not that much power to the downside, but if you were able to maneuver maybe yesterday, getting out of some risk, maybe getting short the spiders when we broke 1698, you were able to make some money as we traded down towards the 21-day moving average, which was really the target spot for the first move. Held it, bounced off it. You look at the chart here of the SPX, you will see that overall this was that pivot right there. This is when it broke above, remember this area on that Thursday, and then Friday you held, and then this was when it gave it up. Okay, short-term guys that are active, you could have got short. You could have got short 1702, 1698. We went all the way down to 1684 today. So 16, 17 handles. I know it's not a blockbuster trade, but if you had it that way, you didn't have to suck it up and hold through it. You could have, made money. So the question is now, what's next? At this point, we're still above the 21-day. We came off today, little bit of a 3-day down move. And there's really not much to really hang your hat on. I would say you don't have to be all in long or all in short. There are going to be things to do here. Some people are drawing this channel from this last breakout, which we just held first time. Which is one way to look at it. Okay, so you want to take this away, which I'll take it away for you with this little bar and this one. Some bears are now saying we're going to get a little bit of a reflex move tomorrow, okay, to create this head and shoulders pattern. So if you want me to draw that for you, there's a lot of different ways the artists are drawing the charts based on what they think is happening here. So as of right now, there is the potential that if we want to have, or the market wants to go lower, this is, the potential of a head and shoulders pattern where left shoulder, head, and for this to really, be somewhat intact, the bears are not going to really let the bulls reclaim this 1700-ish. Okay, and this is a very, really short-term pattern here. You can't really hang your hat on it, but then what you'll have is this type of scenario where this is your new line, okay, this is your new point of reference, which again, 1684. So if you bounce back up a little bit and start rolling over, then there's a chance for lower prices in August. As of right now, tactically, you could have got out of the way here, made a little bit of money, you could have made some knickknacks on the tactical side there, and that's really it. As far as some stocks, I was talking about on the virtual trade floor, some stocks that are holding above their 8 days. So the spiders went to their 21-day, so you want to look for stronger stocks that have held their 8-day. So you look at Apple, so to speak. Okay, Apple had a really nice move, right? Had a nice move from the earnings gap, which we've talked about right here. Okay, so that was your entry, here was your add, and this is what's gone on. It right now is holding higher. So this is setting up for something that could have continuation. So this is worthy of being on your radar. Facebook, also, look at this high-level stop. I don't care what people say about it. The price action saying that dips are very shallow. Okay, 8 days playing catch up, holding in there really tight. You could be long some, and if it goes above this 39.32, you're going to get north of 40 a lot quicker than people thought. This was your last pivot buy right there. Looking decent, not really bearish. LinkedIn, not really looking too bearish, right? LinkedIn, same type of scenario. Big gap up, 4 days in a row, holding in there. People could keep it on their radar for higher prices. BMW, another situation, very, very tight. That means buyers are paying for it above this gap, accumulation right here, and who knows, maybe it finally breaks out above 83.5. I think they announced some kind of buyback after the close, but it was kind of muted by all the different earnings coming out. Other situations, today there was like some pretty, some strength in Microsoft, which was kind of unusual. I actually, took a look at it today also. Held the bottom end of this range, bounced pretty strong. Who knows, maybe you get some kind of cash flow trade into this gap. Now, it didn't really trade that much volume, but supposedly there was some options, interest in the 32s and 33s. We'll see what happens there. POT and some of the ags are trying to do a rounding bottom, and these stocks have been, utterly annihilated. So with that said, maybe some bottom feeder type action there. Some of the banks have come off. The banks came, but kind of held or tried to hold the 21-day. So maybe tomorrow, it fills this gap, and then for a trade, and now we have a new point of reference here. This is a little weaker than we would like. That's more on the weaker side. More on the weaker side too is the home builders, which is something that people are pointing to, and rightly so. Lower highs across the board. This little trend line was broken right there. Still above this little support here, but this is weaker. Gold looked like it was going to try and fill its gap today a little bit, but it didn't. I tried it for a long, it didn't work. Who knows here? I just don't really want to be involved there. Tesla is trading right now after hours. So looked, face value, I had to come in here, looked pretty good. Looked like really good numbers, and a lot to say. They even opened up a store in China, which there was an article saying they couldn't, which is why it was down today. So anyway, for this to get really exciting, it's going to have to stay above 145 after hours and extend, especially for guys who played options. And I took some calls as it was down, $10 off the highs, so I bought the 145s, but probably going to lose a little on it unless it gets a, explosive move after hours. We shall see. All in all, though, I think for investors, you guys got to be really happy the way it's acting, especially after hours. We'll see if it holds up, but ultimately, the story's intact, the numbers are there, and I don't think it's going to slow down. And here's your 21-day moving average, which still hasn't closed below for more than a day, almost since the last quarter's earnings. So very good story there to stay within and to trade. So all in all, at this point, it's like I said today, it's kind of an uninteresting spot because we came 25 handles off the highs. Wasn't a powerful move to the downside. You could have made a little bit of money short, but you couldn't even really press it. If you got out of your longs, you saved yourself a little bit of movement to the downside, but nothing fell apart. So you have to really pick your time frames. If you're thinking that you've been in stocks for multiple months, I don't think you yawn. I don't think the highs of the year are in. If you're a trader and you're in an intermediate time frame, there's things that you could continue to still hold that act well, but then there's some things that seem like they want to correct, and you got to be really in the right spots. It's very stock picker focused, where you have some stocks holding up after earnings that can continue. Then you have some stocks that were beaten up that might be a good bottom feeder type trade. Pick and choose what your cup of tea is and just stick with it, and just don't do too much, because those that are doing too much are over trading and they're frustrated. In August is no time to be frustrated. Save it for the fall. Anyway, Scott Redler, T3 Live, the recap, see you at the morning call. Have a good night.
I'm Evan Lazarus, Chief Knowledge Officer for T3Live.com. You don't become a great trader by watching videos and taking courses. You become a great trader through live screen time. Accelerate that learning curve by tapping into the experience of seasoned professionals. Currently, we're offering 5-day free trials to each of our 4 mentoring rooms. In the mentoring rooms, we teach our strategies in the context of the live market. To sign up for a free trial, go to the T3 Live education page, fill out the form, and get started when the next trading session begins. We hope to see you in one of our mentoring rooms.